Hello, and a very warm welcome to this week's podcast. Now, this is a topic that you will most definitely be familiar with. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're worn out, but is your business really moving forward? Because here's the thing, I hear this every single week. I'm so busy, Nicola, I'm so busy. I'm seeing clients all day, I'm answering messages in the evening, I'm doing admin after dinner, trying to chuck stuff on social, trying to get content. I've got a CPD coming out my ears. I'm on a hamster wheel, running from appointment to appointment. But then when I say to these people, how many inquiries have you had coming in this week? How many new clients have you booked? What's your revenue for this month? What does your cash flow look like next month, the month after? What's your plan for the rest of the quarter? Silence. Being busy can feel productive, but you can also get stuck in what I call busy work, where, yeah, you are run, 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 go, go, go. You're getting things done, sure, but they are not activities that are growing your business. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, how staying busy can actually be the thing that's stopping your business from growing. You may have heard the expression slowing down to speed up. For years, I thought, what a load of BS that is. How can you possibly slow down to make bigger leaps forward in anything, in business, in training horses, in your own fitness? I just was like, what? How is that even possible? I got I get it on one level. It sort of made some kind of sense, but I also had no idea how to practically put that into perspective. And it's something that I've really learned probably over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. And it's something that I really want to touch on today. So, not everything that gets onto your to-do list actually gives you results. There's so many tasks that make us feel productive. And you know what? I love feeling productive too. Like, you have a massive to-do list. You maybe the first thing on your to-do list is write the to-do list. You tick that off. Your brain lights up, that reward center lights up. You get that massive dopamine hit. We all love that because there's things that will move your business forward and the things that will just make you feel like you're doing something. The number of clients who say to me, social media takes me hours. I've spent an hour creating a carousel. I've spent however long fiddling around in Canva. That is busy work. You could spend 3 hours creating Instagram graphics, or you could spend 30 minutes contacting 3 vet practices who could then send you dozens, hundreds even of referrals over the next year or so. One is activity and one is growth. One makes you feel busy. One, maybe it doesn't feel like you've actually achieved anything in that first moment. Calling up some vet practices to then perhaps book a meeting, perhaps tell them how you could come and deliver a CPD or a CE, getting to spend a day with one of the vets or whatever it is you want from them. That doesn't light your brain up in the same way. Yeah, tick, that job is done. I've created that Instagram reel or whatever it is. Activity can feel safer. Yeah, it can feel comfortable. It feels like you're getting something done. But the thing to ask is this actually moving my business forward? And something that I try and get my clients to do every single week is to start the week by telling me, we do this inside the Expert Academy, and one-to-one clients do it as well. Tell me your big 3 or your big 5. Now, for some people, they like to have 5 things. Some people like to have 3 things. There's no right or wrong. But tell me your big 3 actions, your big 3 moves, or your big 5 things that you're working on this week that are going to move your business forward. Not finish a CPD, things that are going to generate revenue, things that your future self can really thank you for. So if there's a task and it's not making you money, it's not saving you time, or it's not welcoming in your new clients, maybe it's not the immediate thing to put your focus on. And sure, and we're going to look at this, there's working in your business, there's working on your business, and then there's CEO time. So I'm not saying that all these other tasks don't need doing, but if you want to move your business forward, you might have been better with that Instagram example to skip social media that day and get on the phone to those vet practices. That would be a much more needle moving activity. So when you became a practitioner, when you started your business, actually, let's go forward a little bit more. You wanted to help animals. That's why you trained. That's why you qualified. That's why you started a business. You love solving problems. You love making a difference. You love knowing that you are leaving an animal feeling better than when you started. You like helping owners to piece together the puzzle of what their animal needs to go, go be fulfill their potential, be their best self. And obviously it looks different for all animals at different stages and so forth of their life and competitive career, if that's applicable. And that's what makes you a really great practitioner. And here's the thing, when you train, you get all that clinical knowledge. And sure, you touch on some business building things, but you don't get taught how to be a CEO. You don't get taught how to market your business, how to market yourself and your services. You don't get taught client acquisition systems. You don't get taught how to manage your time, money, or capacity. And I think all this stuff should be taught in school. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? So we just do with not what feels natural. You're people that want to help. You want to say yes to people. So you say yes to everything. You take any and every client, even if they're miles out of the way. You try and be everything to everyone because your very nature is wanting to help. And you can get really, really trapped. You just end up working harder and not really going forward. And that's when, that's when people often come to me and they're like, I'm stuck. I am so busy. I don't really know how to get off this hamster wheel. And that's when we sit down and we look at, actually, what have you got here? Have you built a business or have you built yourself a job? And for so many people, it's that realization that they've actually built themselves a job. They're trapped in their business can't function without them, and they need, for money to come in, they physically need to be there, or what feels like day and night. And that's not building a sustainable business that allows you to thrive and live the life that you want to live. One of my Expert Academy clients said to me the other day, and I thought, oh gosh, that's so true. She said she joined the program in March, I think, and she said, like, I came, to learn how to build my business. What I didn't realize is I would look at how to build my dream life and how to build a business that supports the life I want to lead. I thought I had to just squeeze my life in around my business. And now my business gives me the life that I want. And that is, to me, what having a business is all about. It's about freedom. It's about choices. It's about doing the work that you love, the work that lights you up and fills you with passion and joy, but also giving yourself the life that you want as well. So one thing I get all of my clients, I talked about those big 3 tasks a week, or big 5 tasks a week. One thing I'm really hot on them doing is every day taking an action on their business. So I am a big believer in baby steps. It might not sound sexy, it might not sound super impressive, but do you know what? When you commit to daily baby step action, okay, maybe at the end of the week, nothing radical has changed. You'd be amazed where you are in 28 days. You'd be amazed where you are in 3 months, 6 months, 5 years, from that compound effect of just taking small bits of action, but consistently, is massive. And that's what we ask. That's the commitment I ask from all of my clients in my group programs who come and work with me for one-to-one private coaching, is that you have to be willing to work on yourself every day and work on your business. And like, we're talking half an hour a day. That's the minimum ask I need from somebody. It can be broken down, that's not a problem, into small little chunks. But there's hidden little pockets of time when you're 5 minutes early for an appointment, or when someone's running 10 minutes late. That's when you can take action. It's not about creating hours more in a day. It's about doing more with the little bits of time you've already got. So I think the best way to think is about your workload and time is having these three types of work. You've got client work. Okay, that's always going to be a huge part of the work that you do. Appointments, assessments, reports, replying to people, doing the day job basically. And that's what is covering your bills today and next week. And of course, this is really important. But if that's the only thing you do, you're always going to be stuck in that time for money swap. Business growth is where you're working on your business. And this is where you're building referral partnerships, you're following up on inquiries, you're creating new offers, you're looking at how you can increase your visibility, how you can look at client journeys, sales conversions, etc., etc. That's what's going to cover off your bills next month and the month after. And if you're not doing that kind of work consistently, you're really, really missing a trick. And then there's this third type of work. And this is something I just love, love, love helping people make this huge identity shift into this role. And that's CEO time. I just wrote an article this morning, actually, about CEO habits that, any business owner can adopt. And this is where thinking time, this is where quiet time, where no, you're not doing, you're not recording content, you're not, maybe it doesn't look like you're doing anything, but this is very, very powerful, valuable time. This is where you're reviewing numbers, where you're planning, looking at systems, looking what's working, what's not working, making strategic decisions rather than reactive decisions. How often in your business have you brought out something new or changed something in a kind of panic and in a fear mode, not because it was a planned strategy of something that, it was part of your overall plan and you've been meaning and wanting to do it for ages. This is how CEOs think and work. It's about looking at that future vision. Are we on track? Is that vision, does it need tweaking? Do I want it to be bigger and bolder than I thought before? This is what pays your bills next year. And this is what pays your bills the year after and the year after that. And what I see so often is that most practitioners their time is just spent on serving their clients. It's in the business, not on the business. And that's why growth can feel really, really challenging. And I really love to challenge the idea that to grow your business, you have to work more hours. It's honestly not true. Like, I started my coaching and training company almost 10 years ago. At that point, I had, how old was Millie? Was she 2? She must be 2-ish, quite small. My eldest daughter was quite little. And I think she was about 3, 2.5, 3. She was at a really cute little preschool kindergarten. It was in a couple of villages away from me. And she used to go in the afternoon. And I had 2 hours and maybe 15 minutes. So rather than driving home, which was about 20 minutes, my lovely, lovely friend who lived around the corner gave me a key to her house. And I would flat out run back to her house, run into her kitchen, cuddle her dogs. Her dogs were always very happy that I would be there. And I would get my laptop open and I would work like an absolute demon for 1 hour, 55 minutes is probably what I had available. And then the laptop would be shut, cuddle the dogs again, back off, pick up my daughter, get back on with their days. But because I literally had 10 hours a week, and then I would run my training events at the weekend where, yeah, of course that took more time, but I had 10 hours a week to fit an awful lot in. And I did that for years because then came another baby and I want to be around. Now, yes, I can work more if I want. My kids are older, they're both at school. But, at the point of recording this, I am about to have most of the summer holidays off. I'll be, dipping into some things for a short period of time most days, but in total, I'll probably work about 5 days across the next 6 weeks. And that has been very, very intentionally planned. It's taken me years to build the business in a way that I can take the entire summer off without any real dramas. And I built the business in that very intentional way so that I could work in these small pockets of time. I just wanted to be there with my kids. That's why I set up my company. I, I've done working all the hours. I've done running yards and working 100 hours a week. I've done corporate life. I've done all those things. And I just knew that I could have the impact. I could help with these horses that I wanted to help, and then I could help with these people I wanted to help without putting in a 60-hour work week. And it's so funny because probably 2 or 3 times in the last 9, 10 years, I've even though I know this, I've gone, right, well, this month I'm going to work so much more. It's always the worst month I ever have. When I work less, my business is better. I am better. I'm more present. I'm on it. Like I'm on fire because I don't have to be on fire all day long. So literally, particularly when I had just 10 hours a week, everything, every minute mattered. It really did. Not in a stressful way, but I was just super, super intentional. I had very clear about what I needed to get done and what was actually going to make a big difference. Things may not have been perfect, but they got done. They moved things forward. They really did. I built systems that would save time. I worked in a way where I could help more than one person at a time. And I built my business running courses in person, where we could leverage, one time, lots of people got helped. And then the rest of the time was spent on filling up the next course and marketing the business. And then coaching was added in, and we've always had group coaching programs. I launched my first group coaching program about 7 years ago, because it was a great way to help more people at a time. And yes, I love, love, love working with my one-to-one clients, but it's a very limited number. They're all getting the summer off because I'm not available every single day for individual clients. And that is fine because I have built the business that way. I worked hard working 10 hours a week. I worked super hard because I probably also did another 10 hours a week working on myself to believe that I could still have what I wanted. I could still have this impact without the exhaustion, without doing every single hour. So I'm going to sum this episode up by giving you a little bit of a challenge. One that's not going to take you too much time, but what I'd love you to think about is, where does your time go? So for the next 7 days, if you're up for this, this is my challenge to you. I'd love you to complete a simple time audit. When you switch tasks, just write down what you're doing. And there'll be big blocks of your day that's client work and driving. But what else are you getting done? Stick it in the notes bit of your phone, stick it on a scrap of paper, it doesn't matter. But I want you to look back at the week. And I'm a colour coordinator. So if you want to get a coloured marker, if it's, on a piece of paper, and block at that time, like where did I spend my time? Was I seeing clients? That could be one colour. Was this money making activity? Was it based on sales? So did this activity make me money? Was it something that attracted future clients, future sales? Did it improve my business? That could be your third category. Like, was I looking at systems? Was I planning? Was I reviewing my numbers? And then your fourth category is, what was just busy work? Where did I log into social media with my business account and then fall down a scroll hole? Where did I hop into my emails 5 times? Or where did I jump from task to task 3 times in 10 minutes, not really get anything done? Where was I fiddling? Fiddling is a great word. With Canva or the back of my website. It's not about judging. It's just about awareness, because when you know where your time is going, you can start to be so much more intentional, because you want to be able to take charge of your time and take charge of your business. And that is something that is in your hands. It really, really, really is. So I'd love you to just do that time audit and then just start thinking how you can be the CEO of your business. Because unless you change something, how your week looks now is how it's going to look in 6 months' time and how it's going to look a year down the line. And that's exactly why I created the Expert Academy. And that's my group coaching program, because business growth is so much more than just getting clients. And as practitioners, it's easy to just focus. It's an easy metric, isn't it? Just, have we got enough clients? Where are my next clients coming from? And sure, that is part of growing your business. But the biggest thing is actually becoming the CEO of your business, where you've got that mindset to think bigger, think bolder, back yourself, believe in yourself, where you're super clear on who you're for, who you're not for, and you can position yourself. When you've got more than one offer, when you know exactly how to acquire and attract clients in a consistent way, when you feel able to manage your capacity, your time, and your money, and when you've got systems in place, meaning your business just doesn't know you and need you every minute of the day. When you get all those pieces working together, growth isn't luck, it's inevitable. If you know that growth is going to happen. So, closing this episode off by saying to yourself, I'd love you to say to yourself, rather than working harder, what's one thing I could do today that would actually grow my business? Start thinking like my clients think. One action a day. Commit to that. One thing on you, one thing on the business. That's the goal. Building a business that gives you freedom, flexibility, and lets you have a bigger impact without exhaustion, without burnout. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. And if you would really love to master business growth, step into the identity of a CEO, and really be in the driving seat of your business, then I'll pop a link to the Expert Academy below. Come join us. We'd absolutely love to help you over there. Bye for now.